especially the parents, can help out with their children or friends and things.
So ella dice que va a hablar un poquito de lo que es los desórdenes alimenticios y cómo los padres pueden ayudar a sus hijos en superar ese problema.
So, the main thing that I think every child, every friend, no matter what age, any adult, they need support. That's the biggest thing. Especially for me, from my personal experience, I've had a couple of mental problems myself. So I think support, especially from someone close to me, for me it was my mother. And she was the one that probably helped me through everything. She was the one that helped me get a therapist. She was the one that made me feel like I was able to speak to her. And it did take a little while because of how I was, the state that I was in. And it was that I wasn't comfortable with myself. I wasn't comfortable with how I felt. So I didn't want to bring that upon anybody else. But she was able to make me feel like I could speak to her. So having support and someone close to you, you being that person that they come to for support.
Ella dice que tener el apoyo de los padres es muy importante porque eso puede abrir una comunicación entre padre e hijo, madre e hijo, especialmente cuando están pasando por una situación difícil como esta, que ella no se sentía bien consigo misma, pero su madre la apoyó a conseguir una terapista y le dio mucho apoyo, que ella se sintió cómoda en hablar con ella.
I have various friends that I've been through that had their own mental problems, and many of them were eating disorders. So when you talk about anorexia and you talk about bulimia, I have personal experience with helping a couple of people in that way. And I have to say that, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Nancy, you're very correct, of course, with everything that you say. You're the specialist here. I'm sure I'm not always Thank you. But you are correct with everything that you say, that certain signs for bulimia would be kind of going to the bathroom after every single meal, not like every couple times. It would be staying a long time in the bathroom, because then they do feel the need, that they feel bad, they feel guilty because they ate. So they do feel the need to just throw everything up. So that's one of the signs. Now, if you talk a little bit more about anorexia, that's more like if you ask them if they want to eat something, and they kind of already say, oh, I already ate, but they didn't that day. They didn't at all. And one of the things with anorexia is that it's when you starve yourself and you think that you're making yourself skinnier, but once you actually do eat, you end up kind of gaining more weight rather than actually making yourself skinny, even though that's the way that you feel because you're starving yourself.
So, ella está diciendo que la anorexia es cuando a veces tú quieres perder peso y dejas de comer para perder peso, pero sin embargo a finales a veces terminas ganando más peso de lo que perdiste. Y la bulimia también, cuando uno va después de comer al baño y se demora mucho tiempo en el baño y hace, ¿cómo se dice? Self-vomit. El vómito.
A lot of the causes for these types of eating disorders could come from they have low confidence, they have low self-esteem. The media is a huge thing, especially right now, especially with kids my age, 15, 16, 17, getting younger to 13, 14, because of how the media portrays what women and men should be at this age, like physically, that they should be skinny, they should have this color hair, they should be this height, they should be all these different types of physical things that not everybody is going to have, and that's how it is, that's naturally how it is. Not everybody's going to have these things because that's how you were made. That's how you were born. You were born to be a specific way. So when media comes in to someone young, someone who's a little bit more vulnerable, who has a low self-esteem, who has low confidence already to start out with, that affects them more, and that's kind of, it ends up coming a little bit of a chain reaction as we go on. Then my thing when I was suffering from depression for a little bit, I had a bad self-image of myself. So I didn't want to be in front of anybody. I didn't want to be the center of attention, which is a little ironic where I am now. And it's one of the hardest things to overcome, I want to say. So again, going back to what I said in the beginning, support is the biggest thing. So if you have somebody that's there, that cares for you, that is willing to help you out, and find a specialist, find you professional help that's really going to help you out. And it's helped me out from personal experience. I'm just
So, ella dice que a la edad de los 12, 13, 14 años es una edad difícil, en la que a veces a esa edad no nos sentimos cómodos con el cuerpo o la forma que tenemos, entonces eso puede crear problemas, pero deberíamos de pensar en que nosotros tenemos el cuerpo se nos dio así, tenemos que apreciarlo como tal como es. Y de su propia experiencia, que ella pasó por una depresión, entonces ella tenía problemas también de self-image, no, tenía problemas también bien, no sintiéndose cómoda consigo misma. Y por eso el apoyo de alguien es muy importante.
So, when you kind of deal with eating disorder, it's not just the eating disorder that you're dealing with. It can come with depression, it can come with anxiety, it can come with other different types of mental illnesses and different types of states that the person is going to be in. So you kind of have to put that in mind when you're trying to help them. You are also going to have to put in mind that maybe they don't have, I'd say both, like illness, or they don't have a specific problem. But you can't just confront them about it. You can't just push it on them like, oh, I think you have an eating disorder. I'm going to find you someone and I'm going to bring you to them so that you get help. You have to ease into it. It's a baby steps type thing. Because if you just go full force into it, they're not going to want to do it. They're not going to want to do it at all. Because then they feel like they're different, they're weird, and they already feel that way. And so to enforce that even more isn't going to help at all.
Mm-hmm. So cuando uno trata de, ¿cómo se pushing? Empujar a alguien a que, no, mira, forzar a alguien de que, mira, tú tienes un problema, tienes que tener un tratamiento, hace que la persona en realidad, en vez de querer ayuda, trate de evitar de tener cualquier tipo de apoyo, de ayuda, entrar a un tratamiento, cosas así. So, eso es algo negativo.
When you're put into these types of situations, which now sadly is becoming a little bit more common, you have to put yourself into their shoes. Because if you're looking from an outside, you're thinking, oh, this is easy, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, and then I'm done. But if you put yourself in their shoes, they feel like they have the entire world on their shoulders. So baby steps is needed. So you need to not get them frustrated in a way, because when you get them frustrated, then they block out. I tend, when I get frustrated, I tend to just block everything out. I don't want to do anything then. I'm kind of just, leave me alone, I give up.
Mm-hmm. So, paso por paso, dice ella, que es muy importante ir de a poquitos, no de frente, ok, mira, necesitas ayuda y ya, ¿no? Ella dice que pasito a pasito es mucho más es mejor que forzando a alguien, porque esa persona se puede cerrar totalmente, y eso es como ella es también. Cuando la fuerza, ella dice no.
And with this particular type of situation, it's a little hard, it's a little difficult to kind of put yourself in their shoes, because you, being a healthy person, you think that they shouldn't be this way. Obviously they shouldn't, but you think that it's something that's it's abnormal that they're that way. And
I think you also have to remember it's not on purpose.
of course, it's not. Yeah, thank you. It's not on purpose. It's not on purpose.
It's not a choice.
No. Like you said, it starts out as a simple and innocent diet, and then it becomes kind of like a snowball, and it just gets bigger and bigger as it goes on. And then it turns into this big thing where then there's hospital trips, these can end so fatally, and it's so sad how these things turn out when they just started out so innocently. So when you bring yourself to these types of situations, you have to realize that they didn't want an eating disorder.
You can say.
Oh no, entonces ella dice que perdón, estaba prestando que
Yeah, when it comes to parents, how can a parent kind of see the signs before it gets bad? How can a parent, knowing that you went through this situation yourself, how can a parent kind of like get the signs?
That's a little bit more difficult because it kind of depends on the personality that your child has. Because if your child is more distant from you, it's going to be a lot harder to see the signs, because then it's lies that they come up with and you think that like they're fine. When I was with my mom, she didn't know. She didn't know for a couple of years. So it was a shock when she found out that I hated going to school, that I hated myself, that I hated doing so many things. And it was a shock. And so let's say your child is so close to you, it's a little easier to see the signs. You begin to see that maybe they lock themselves in their room a little bit more. They become a little bit distant with you. They spend longer times in the bathroom, in the shower, because they take time and they self-reflect on what they don't like. So when you kind of put yourself in this type of situation and you're envisioning what could potentially happen, you kind of have to step back and see what you can do for a second. Don't just go in. You have to, let's say you think that your child has some type of disorder, they have an illness. You have to do your research, because you don't want to make an assumption and say that they have depression when they could just have slight anxiety. Then you don't want to make them feel like, oh, I look this type of way to everybody then, and then that'll just make their problem worse. So you have to, like I said before, baby steps into everything.
So ella dice que pasito a pasito es importante, y para que un padre se dé cuenta de que mi hija está pasando por un momento, depende de la personalidad de los hijos, porque ella da un ejemplo en el que de repente el hijo con la madre tienen una relación más cercana. Es más fácil de ver si de repente la niña se está aislando, yendo a su cuarto o pasando mucho tiempo en el baño, en la ducha, cosas así. Entonces por eso es importante prestar atención a los diferentes comportamientos.
Perdón, ahora es más difícil identificarlos por el media, por el celular, por las computadoras. Ellos te pueden decir que están haciendo tarea. Mientras tanto, y tú estás dejando que hagan la tarea en su cuarto. Mientras tanto, no es lo que están haciendo. So, tienes que subir cada media hora o cada hora, o depende si ella baja diferente o algo así. No sabes quiénes están hablando más con su amigo que están hablando contigo. Y eso yo lo pasé porque ella es mi hija. Y yo no supe nada de eso por lo menos 2 años. Que yo estuve, ¿qué? ¿No te gusta el colegio? Y yo pensando que me encantaba el colegio. So, tiene que estar.
Es muy difícil de identificar ciertos síntomas, porque estas enfermedades son muy secretas y a veces no dejamos que la gente a nuestro alrededor se dé cuenta. Entonces, sin embargo, aunque nosotros estemos deprimidos, mostramos una sonrisa a la gente que no está a nuestro alrededor. En mi caso, mis compañeros, yo era la líder de mi escuela, en la high school y todo, porque yo pasé por bulimia y anorexia por 10 años. Y yo siempre estaba contenta, ellos venían hacia mí, yo estaba muy metida en mis clases, sacaba buenas notas, pero cuando llegaba a casa era el martirio. y nadie se da cuenta, porque uno busca las horas en las que todos están durmiendo de repente, o en que todos están en el trabajo, o cuando todos se van a la fiesta, o cuando no hay nadie en la casa y uno se encuentra aislado y se siente solo, porque estas enfermedades hacen que tú te aísles, de que tú te sientas mal. Entonces cuando uno tiene ese sentimiento y uno se castiga, pero tú no estás haciendo nada malo. Pero sin embargo, nos sentimos solos, aunque haya 1 millón de gente en tu casa, nos sentimos solos y tendemos a sentirnos solos, abandonados, que no merecemos ser felices. Y cuando en el tratamiento, cuando empezamos tratamiento, cuando recién nos estamos empezando a sentir contentos, decimos, ¿me merezco eso? Yo no creo que merezco ser feliz, porque es algo nuevo que está sucediendo, es algo que por mucho tiempo no lo hemos tenido, no hemos sido felices. Entonces cuando experimentamos eso, sentimos como que un discomfort. Es difícil de también reconocer algunos síntomas, pero a los más evidentes son cuando se van al baño y tardan mucho, dejan la llave del caño abierto por mucho tiempo, o salen con los ojos rojos porque acaban de vomitar, o salen o no pueden hablar porque acaban de vomitar, o pastillas de laxatives, toman pastillas, enemas, o toman excesivamente de repente todos los días, y no tan solo pastillas o laxantes, pero también de repente hay algunos frutos, hay algunas seeds que hacen, que dicen, oh, es para bajar de peso. Son cosas naturales, pero tío, son malas.
So overall, I guess, go into it slowly. Show them that they have your full support, that you're there for them. Don't force them to do anything, because that will just draw them back and they will refuse to do it. Put yourself in their shoes while you're trying to help them. Don't get frustrated, because then that will prevent you from helping them. And
dice que traten de, si conocen a alguien que está pasando por eso, pues hay que darle apoyo. Hay que darle apoyo y no forzarlos, porque si lo fuerzan no va a traer nada positivo y va a hacer las cosas peores.
it takes time.
Y toma
It
tiempo.
takes years.
Y puede
It
tomar
could take
años.
years. So it's just have patience with it. Have patience with them. Don't.
Que tengan paciencia y traten de ponerse en su lugar de esa persona.
That's it.